Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers, your statistics in sports podcast. I am your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I am Corwin Heller.
And welcome to the show. We're like 110 or so episodes in. If you're just joining us, what took you so long? It's the non-stats day, so we got some random ass shit to talk about. Eli Manning retired, and that's going to lend itself to a whole debate as to his Hall of Fame worthiness. There's also the MLB Hall of Fame announcements, which I talked about solo the other day, but figured we'd bring it up just again briefly while Corwin's here. The Pro Bowl happened, or is going to have happened later today. We're recording this on the Sunday. It's happening, and if we get to it, we have some searchy stuff that we did. You ready to dive into it?
I'm ready.
All right. Eli Manning has left football. He has done so after a career 236 games over 15 or 16 years. I always forget how you count it. You're supposed to count it. And in your mind, is he a Hall of Famer?
Well, in his 16 seasons, I just counted. I think he's going to be one of those guys that has a good chance to get in, but there's going to be a lot of people that definitely are against that sentiment. I personally think he has enough going for him to get in, but I think it'll be close. I mean, 4-time Pro Bowler, that doesn't jump out at you as being, spectacular. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champ, but it's hard to say that, he was the guy to get them there and win it for them every time. His Iron Man streak, I know that's not something people like to talk about being, a Hall of Fame stat, but it's incredible nonetheless, and it's definitely going to add to his case. But yeah, I think he should get in. Finally.
I think he will. I think it'll take its time, but the fact that he played in New York is going to lend itself to his case. The fact that he was a Walter Payton Man of the Year award will certainly help. Like, being a nice guy in the world of sports will get you so far.
Oh yeah.
Like, if Omar Vizquel was an asshole like Curt Schilling, he wouldn't even be a fucking thought for the MLB Hall of Fame. But the fact he's being considered speaks volume to how fucking just nice of a guy he is to be around. And that's Eli. He's always been a super great person with the media, with teammates, with coaches, with his charity work, and that'll carry him a lot. Plus the 2 Super Bowl wins, plus his Iron Man streak. He's got a lot of that. Like, I think he'll get by like the feeling around him, because his stats aren't spectacular. He finishes with a QB record of 117 and 117, which is just pure poetry.
And never a tie.
Yeah, wow, never tied a game. Good for him. I think if I was a QB, I'd rather lose than tie. But that doesn't mean it's right. But he's a Manning. That'll help him.
That definitely will help.
Yeah, being part of that family. Eli Manning has led the league in a few things, not frequently. He led the league in interceptions 3 times, 20 in 2007, won the Super Bowl, 25 in 2010, and 27 in 2013. Those are actually his only 3 years over 20 interceptions, every year under. He also led the league in longest pass twice. In 2010, he threw a 92-yard pass, and in 2011, threw a 99-yard pass. Won the Super Bowl. He led the league in sack percent once, 3.4. And he led the league in fourth quarter comebacks once with 5, and game-winning drives once with 6. And that's the only things Eli Manning's ever led football in.
Yeah, that's not great. Those are not the stats you want to really lead the lead the league in. I mean, game-winning drives, fourth quarter comebacks, lowest sack percentage. Those are all good things, but those don't exactly shout as Hall of Fame numbers when those are what you have going for you.
All right, Corwin. Now I'm going to play a game with you.
I love games.
All right, I want you to navigate away from Eli Manning's Pro Football Reference page.
Navigate it away.
All right, we're now going to play the game. Eli or Vinny Testaverde?
Ooh, this sounds like a fun game.
Okay, career yards, 46,000 and change.
Vinny.
Eli or Vinny?
Vinny.
That's Vinny. Yeah, Eli with 57,000. All right.
Okay. I was going I thought you were saying the higher of the two numbers, and I was going with Vinny just because he was around longer, but okay. So yeah, I should have gotten it wrong, but I just happened to guess right.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a number. You have to guess if that number is Eli's number or Vinny's number.
Okay.
All right.
It's not necessarily like the highest of the. All right. I got it.
That's why it'll be tricky. Touchdowns, 366.
Vinny.
That's actually still Eli.
Okay.
Vinny has 275. All right, now this is going to be a fun one. Interceptions.
Eli.
267.
Ooh. I'll go Vinny.
That one is Vinny. He beats out Eli. Eli has 244. So he beats out Eli by just 23 interceptions. Ooh. All right, interception percent. 3.0.
I feel like this one has to be Eli.
That one actually is Eli. Vinny is 4.0.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah.
That is so exceptionally bad. That's 4 times as much as Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's just that's just Vinny football. Like if you don't like that, you don't like Vinny Testaverde, you don't like Vinny football. All right. Yards per attempt, 6.9.
Nice. I'll go Vinny.
That is Vinny, but what's crazy is it's so close because Eli is 7.0.
Nice. Not
All
as
right.
nice, actually.
Sacks, 411.
Let's see, 411. I'll go Eli.
That is Eli. Vinny's very close at 417.
So what I'm taking from this is Eli Manning is Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah,
with 2 Super Bowl wins.
Honestly, outside of a few, outside of like some of like the passing stats, just cause, like from a volume perspective, they're real. Like from an efficiency perspective, they're really similar. All right,
I kind of okay.
One more. QB rating career 84.1.
Eli.
Yeah, Vinny's a 75.
Yeah. You know what?
What?
I'd like to change my answer. I think he will get in. I don't think Eli should be a Hall of Famer.
So that's what's tough is like if this was Jay Cutler, it's probably a no. And it's probably not much of a thought. Like, let's say Bears version of Jay Cutler, just because I think that's the most famous version of Jay Cutler. He'll definitely get in like the Bears Ring of Honor, like Peyton, or God damn it, like Eli already did. But without because Eli, like I said, Eli's got so much around him. He's got the last name. His brother's about to make the Hall of Fame. His dad's a super famous football player. He played in New York. He won the Super Bowls against the Patriots, like just to add that context to it. Because the stats, I mean, he really is just Vinny Testaverde with a shorter career.
Which is not a good thing. That's not what you want going for you.
More yards and all that, but not more efficiency by much.
My thought process was I kind of missed out on the prime of Eli's career. I was alive and conscious and, had a somewhat developed mind when he won his 2 Super Bowls, especially living in the central New Jersey area where everyone's a Giants fan. Everyone talks about Eli, and I think I was biased against him because of that, because I've heard so many positive things in the past, and I've kind of acknowledged that he's been bad of late, but that wasn't indicative of his entire career. I kind of just put that as, it is what it is. But man, when you look at like the culmination of it all, just those numbers are just not good. And even when you go back and look at his stats from earlier in his career, he was never one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And when you don't have a career that's, when the sum of its parts is greater than any, single peak, that's kind of how I viewed what Eli's career would be, but his isn't.
Yeah, I'd say the closest he ever came to being the best, or maybe in the top 5, maybe even top 3, single year, 2011. Because his 2011 season was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
He took that team kicking and screaming into the playoffs and then beat the Patriots. He threw for almost 5,000 yards that season, 4,933. He did end up losing, or not losing, but Aaron Rodgers was chosen for MVP over him. But at the same time, I mean, like, I think that was the one year where you could say, wow, Eli Manning had a phenomenal year this year.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of that, it's a lot of like, oh yeah, like that was good. 2 more numbers for you, just to compare Vinny and Eli one final time. Yards per completion. Eli Manning is at 11.6. Is Vinny over or under?
Under.
Over.
Really?
12.2.
Wow.
And the last 2 numbers I want to use to compare, Eli Manning's approximate value, which again, just for reference, is the Pro Football Reference catch-all stat a la WAR, 165. Vinny's 142, separated by a mere 23 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think another thing that, just to add to all this that, I just thought of, I think something that's going to be held against Eli that rightfully probably shouldn't, but there's really no avoiding it, is the draft class, the 2004 quarterback draft class that he came from. He is a very clear number 3 in that pecking order. And there's no way he's going to be able to avoid the comparisons to Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, no way.
I think he, even though he is Peyton Manning's brother, I don't think anyone's going to attempt to try and compare him to, Peyton, just because Peyton was on such another level for his career. He was the best quarterback in the NFL for the vast majority of his career. I don't think he's going to draw that comparison, but if you compare Eli to Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger, like, you should, especially Phillip Rivers, as he got traded for him. It really just doesn't hold up all that well.
Real quick. So like I said, Eli Manning's approximate value, 165. You want to guess what Peyton's is?
250.
271.
Yeah.
100 points better.
I mean, Peyton is I know we've had this argument on the podcast before, and I'm sure we will have it again. I still think Peyton Manning is the best quarterback to play the game. And it's, I wish Eli could have been close to that because, that's just better for the game of football. But Peyton has been on such another level forever.
Oh, Peyton was like my favorite quarterback to watch as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I loved dude was so good, and like he's the guy that, like, I don't know about you, but he's the guy that like taught me like what it means to like read a defense. Not that I can, but like to understand that like that's what, but just to know that like that's
right.
what they're doing, and like I just loved Peyton Manning.
It was so cool being able to see a guy like outsmart a defense. Like you could tell he knew exactly what was coming. You knew he knew exactly what he needed to do, and he was the sheriff, man. He was the sheriff. But
Omaha.
maybe we should do an episode on Peyton Manning and all time great quarterbacks again, because why not?
Oh, I'd be down. All right. So how is I don't know how NFL Hall of Fame works. Is it like baseball where you get like 10 years of eligibility?
I actually have no idea. I'll look it up. Well, I assume you have another thought.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, Jeter, first ballot guy, and everyone knew that it was going to be a first ballot guy, but someone like Omar Vizquel, if he gets in, that's a later ballot guy. That's a guy you could see getting in on their 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th year. If he was to get in, which honestly, he's sitting at like 50%. He might very well get in. When Larry Walker first debuted on the Hall of Fame ballot, I think he got like 10% of the vote. So starting out at 50 is basically he's a shoo-in at some point down the road. And I was wondering what ballot year you think Eli would eventually make it in on.
It would be late. I don't see him getting in, maybe the first 3, 4, 5 years. But if it is, out of 10, maybe on the tail end of that, somewhere in the last 5. It really comes down to who's on there with them. So the way it works is there's a 48-person committee with 15 at-large delegates from media members, and then basically it's 25 semifinalists that gets narrowed down to 18 finalists, and then it's selected, and you have to get in with 80% of the vote. There's at least 4, but no more than 8 candidates selected annually. I can't find anywhere on here that lists that there's a limit to how many times you can be nominated, just that it's a selection process about who gets nominated. So I'll try to do a little more digging.
It sounds like a very secretive and weird process.
Yeah. Which,
Sounds right.
how it goes, yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of Hall
also
of
you
Fame
have to be retired for 5 years. So 5 more years, and then we can see Eli on here.
Yeah, that's the same for MLB. You have to be at least 5 years out. So, transitioning over to Hall of Fame announcements that we do have, only 2 people made the Hall of Fame this year for baseball, Derek Jeter and Larry Walker. Yeah. What make you of that?
I mean, I know Derek Jeter was going to get in. I think anyone was trying to. Yeah. I think it's really funny that one stubborn guy was holding out to make sure he wasn't unanimous, which is, I guarantee you, the only reason he didn't vote for Jeter, because he thinks he knew he was going to get voted in, but he didn't want him to be voted in unanimously because he didn't deserve that.
Bitch.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I personally don't think he should have been a unanimous selection. I think, with Mariano Rivera, of all people, being the only one in the history of baseball to have that selection unanimously. I know it's a weird argument because, yes, other guys should have been unanimous, and you shouldn't hold that against someone now because, the thoughts have changed where you don't have to hold guys off just because of that. Whatever the weird thoughts are, I feel like Mariano Rivera is so much better of a player at his position than
worlds
Jeter
better.
was, that it's kind of weird that in back-to-back years, 2 Yankees at that would get voted in unanimously, despite having such, being such worlds apart in talent level at their position. But I do think he should have gotten in.
Yeah, if I think this would be such a more of a non-story if Jeets missed like 15 votes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because then it's like, all right, no, like he'd still be over 95% probably. I think that would work out well math wise. Yeah. So it wouldn't be like an issue, but you go, all right, some people are dicks, whatever, moving on. I think it's only not even an issue, but or just it's just a thing on Twitter that circulated for a while because it was just the one singular vote.
Right.
Not that it matters.
Yeah. Do you want to go over their stats? Or we already did that already with talking about finalists, right?
I believe I did it in the episode, the last episode, because I did talk about this briefly.
I have not been able to listen to it yet.
That's okay.
But
real quick,
I definitely like listening to the ones where it's just you because now I know what our podcast could be if it was done, professionally.
Oh, shut up.
Because I don't know what's said. So,
what do you think about the Larry Walker getting in on the Larry Walker? What do you think about the Larry Walker getting in on his last year?
I like that he got in. I think he's definitely deserving. I can't say that I've followed a ton of, Hall of Fame voting prior to us starting this podcast and talking about it. So I didn't realize the extent to which his voting percentage just shot out of a cannon over the past couple years, which was really cool to see. But yeah, I'm very glad he got in.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a night. Like I said, he started off in his first year of eligibility at like 10 or 11%, so he really climbed. It's super great to see, and he's just such a deserving dude. Really nice guy from everything we could tell, and most WAR of any player from Canada.
Which is, you think that would be. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like that's just such a weird thing that is a thing. You know what I mean?
What's crazy is that Joey Votto is only like 12 WAR or 13 WAR shy of passing him. Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but Joey Votto has over 60 WAR right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know how long he's been playing before I try and look it up?
I think a long time. I want to say 15 years.
2007 to 2019, so 12?
12 seasons, yeah. All right. I knew it was more than 10.
13 seasons.
Yeah, so I was...
Again, we are bad at figuring that out.
That was close. Which is so I'm talking about Joey Votto, career OPS 150. Just so casual, 150.
OPS plus.
Sorry, yes, OPS plus.
If his OPS was 150, he would not have 60 WAR.
Career OPS, career on base percentage of 421. Just throwing it out there.
So fucking high.
God, he's just so fucking good.
That's like Cheech and Chong levels of high.
I actually like I really hope he makes the Hall of Fame someday.
I do too. I think he will.
I have hopes. If he can keep up, I know this past year wasn't great for him. It was a down year. Even in a down year, though, a 98 OPS isn't terrible. OPS plus, fuck, I did it again. But I know this was a down year. But honestly, I think Joey Votto, just by sheer force of will, could still get himself back up to form. He's so fucking talented.
Being a 98 OPS plus is below average, obviously, but essentially average. Being an average hitter at 36 years old, I know people are holding it against him. Oh, like this is it. He's done. Like this is the end of Joey Votto. He just doesn't quite have just the hit tool anymore. The dude's 36. What do you expect? Like people say like this is detrimental to his career, or at least, people I've talked to on Twitter about it. This is Joey Votto. He still has the goods. I don't know why people are upset.
Oh, very, very much so. And you know what's going to be fun is Joey Votto right now is 134 hits away from 2,000, which means he will get to 2,000 hits next season.
Yes, he will.
And I might start watching a lot of Reds games near the end of the season.
The Reds are going to be a fun team this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you tune into any Angels games 2018 when Albert Pujols was going for 600 home runs?
the like 2 or 3 games where he was right there.
Yeah, same. Those were fun games. Every one of his at bats was just like everyone was waiting for it.
It would have been really fun to go to one of those games and just be able to be in the stands, like not even sit in the outfield trying to catch the ball, but just to be there, just to feel that energy. I feel like, I forget the name, but Angel Stadium would have been just electric the whole time.
God, I want to experience Albert Pujols baseball at least one time in real life before it comes to its sad conclusion.
Man, looking at the Reds depth chart, they're going to have a fun team this year. I don't know how good they're going to be. I mean, their pitching's good. They have some really good hitters, but they just look like they're going to be so much fun. So, rotations: Luis Castillo, Sonny Gray, Trevor Bauer, Anthony DeSclafani.
Descalfani, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And Wade Miley, Joey Votto, Mike Moustakas, Freddie Galvis, and Eugenio Suarez. Excuse me.
Eugenio Suarez.
Oh, fuck, I forgot. We
I
even
know.
talked about that.
Yeah, I know.
And then Aristides. Oh, dude, it's been so long since I've looked at these names. I can't pronounce any of these. Aristides Aquino, Nick Senzel, and Jesse Winker in the outfield with Trevor Barnhart catching. That's going to be just a lot of those players are super hit or miss. No pun intended. It should be really fun.
Yeah, no, that team, they might actually be good soon too, because their second half last year was relatively strong actually.
Mm-hmm.
At least given them, you know.
Oh God.
So I wanted to talk about the Pro Bowl.
Yes,
And
sir.
I realized that we haven't talked about. I don't really care about the Pro Bowl, but I just realized we haven't talked about it. And it being one of those things that happens, felt like we should. So,
Yeah.
do you have any idea of who's in the Pro Bowl?
I just pulled it up. There's a lot of players because there are so many fucking alternates.
So many.
Which is really annoying, but that's a discussion we could have at the end of this. I was going to read out everyone, but there
It's not
are
worth it.
too many people. Yeah, they already had the skills competition, I think on Friday, or it was yesterday. My week has just kind of turned into a singular awake asleep cycle. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
That is significantly more fun and exciting to watch than the actual Pro Bowl game. And I think that is one of the most universally held opinions by NFL fans. What are your thoughts on it?
I think we talked about this last year too. It's one of those things where it's like, it's not interesting, the actual game, but there's no good way of making it interesting because you don't want to make it a big softy show because you don't want anyone getting hurt. It's not a real game. So, but if you make it a big softy show so no one gets hurt, then it's not fun to watch. But if you make it a real game and someone gets hurt, it's like, why'd you get hurt during a meaningless game? And I think the solution to this is flag football.
I was just thinking the exact same thing as you started talking about how they could make it fun. Or
yeah,
like, especially since, the NHL All-Star game was last night. 3-on-3 hockey the entire time. It's the most exciting form of hockey in my mind.
It's so much fun. I love it.
Honestly, like, no offense to linemen who are by far the most underappreciated players in the NFL. Maybe just have, like 1 to 3 of you without, too much going on there, or maybe just a center. And then just have a quarterback, running back, and some wide receivers out there playing against safety and some cornerbacks. That'd be fucking exciting. Being able to just have this open space for receivers to move around in. You'll see these big, long plays because, the open space. It would be really fun to watch. And, again, you don't have to see Sean Taylor decapitate a punter on live TV because, Pro Bowl ain't the place for that.
I have another idea.
Let's hear it.
All right, it's a regular game, helmets and pads, but all the positions are switched around. So you have guards playing wide receiver. You have defensive linemen playing cornerback. You have cornerbacks playing nose tackle, and that's the game.
I can't say I hate that. I really can't. I
just want to see 300-pound men running at each other.
The idea of Aaron Donald playing, running back and looking like fucking Le'Veon Bell out there compared to everybody else would be hilarious. Who's the fattest guy in the NFL right now?
Isn't that guy on the Titans?
Which guy on the Titans?
Isn't there a tackle on the Titans who's like 320 or 30 or some shit?
I mean, probably.
Oh no, I thought that there was that
on
guy
the top of my head. I googled heaviest NFL player, and Aaron Gibson came up. He played for the Bears. Do you want to take just a wild guess at how much he weighs?
All right, I have one question.
Yes.
Is it over 400 pounds?
Yes.
Oh God, 415.
Ooh, so close. 410.
Wow, that's a big man.
All right, I found a Reddit thread called 2019 All Weight Team on Reddit.
Ooh, yes.
This has to work out well.
Give it to me.
Only starters are eligible. Oh my God. There are some fat fucking people on here. Let's just go through the team.
Yeah.
Quarterback, Cam Newton at 245 pounds.
It's a big boy.
Derrick Henry, running back, 238 pounds. Wide receivers, Mike Evans at 231, Devin Funchess at 225, and Julio Jones at 220.
Damn, Julio weighs that much?
Yeah, he's a thick boy. I have to imagine Kelvin Benjamin would be on here if he was still starting, but there's no way he is. Tight end.
Can you go back to the beginning? I want to keep track of these weights.
Cam Newton's 245.
245, got it.
Derrick Henry 238.
Okay.
Mike Evans 231.
Jesus, all right.
Devin Funchess 225.
Got it.
Julio Jones 220.
Got it.
Then at tight end we have Vance McDonald at 267, which I would not have guessed at all.
Damn. Okay.
He does not move like he weighs 267 pounds. At tackles, holy shit. Trent Brown. Are you familiar with Trent Brown?
I've heard of the name.
380 pounds.
Ooh, that is wow. Okay.
Then we have Orlando Brown Jr. At 345.
Oh, he's a little guy.
Yeah. Guards, we have Brandon Brooks and DJ Fluker at 346 and 342 respectively. And then at center, we have Brandon Linder at 320 pounds.
Okay.
With Derrick Henry and that offensive line, they could rush for probably 1,000 yards a game.
Is that the whole team?
That is the offense.
Okay, that offense weighs 3,159 pounds.
What's the average? So divided by 11.
Sure. The average player on that team weighs 287 pounds.
Fuck.
That is a heavy team.
Yeah, that is a group of people I would not want to play football against because I would snap very quickly.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. Could you Jesus, that's got to be imposing. You know, like obviously those players are all talented as well, so that's an imposition, but like just the sheer stature of a team built like that. Fuck.
You ready for the defense?
Oh man, I guess so.
So this is a 4-3 defense, so 4 linemen, 3 linebackers, which is only going to make this team heavier. So defensive ends, we have Cameron Jordan at 287 pounds, and Carlos Dunlap at 280. Interior linemen, we have Damon Snacks Harrison at 353 pounds, and Vita Vea at 346. Linebackers, they don't have their specific positions, but whatever. Dante Hightower at 260, Reggie Ragland at 258, and Leighton Vander Esch at 256. Cornerbacks, we have Xavier Rhodes at 218 and Jimmy Smith at 210. And then safety, Landon Collins at 222 and Derwin James at 215. And then as a nickelback, they have Aqib Talib at 209 pounds.
Wow, it feels weird that the offense weighs more than the defense.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
What? The defense weighs 3,114 pounds.
That's, yeah. I mean, it's close, but
average player weighs 283 pounds.
That's, again, I want to watch this football game because there would be some heavy hits. Not exactly a speed game here, but my goodness.
Oh, definitely a power game.
Yeah, I honestly think the defense or the offense would have a major advantage, though.
Oh, I think so too. That's what I'm saying. Putting all those weights together, I mean, like you really have the room to shove people around.
Right, and with Mike Evans, Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry, like they're gonna be able to move the ball, and I just don't think the Xavier Rhodes and Jimmy Smith are gonna be able to shut down Evans and Jones.
No, yeah, the talent level on the offense is also like just super high.
And then we also have special teams here. Kicker Aldrich Rosas is 234 pounds, and punter Johnny Hecker is 241. They have an honorable mention for Seabass, Sebastian Janikowski, who is 260 pounds.
Wow.
But he is retired.
The only first round kicker, right?
Yeah.
At least of the modern era.
Yeah, it might have been what's his face? Who's the all-time leading scorer?
Adam Vinatieri?
The guy he took it from. Morton Anderson.
Oh. Yeah. Was he first round?
I think so. Morton Anderson, I feel like is he was drafted. How quickly can I do this? He was a 4th round pick, so I take it back.
Seabass still reigns supreme.
Yes, he does.
So that's all the like news-ish. We didn't talk about the rosters for the Pro Bowl, but at the same time, like we did the All-Pro. So if you listen to that episode, you know all the names we would have been reading anyway. The alternates make things a little bit different. Like, Pat Mahomes isn't going to go because he's playing in the Super Bowl. Not that he got the All-Pro nod because he didn't, but just like shit like this, or Zach Ertz, or not Zach Ertz, the other tight end who's white. Who am I thinking of? Travis Kelce. He's not going to go because he's in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So that kind of stuff. But again, if you listen to the All-Pro episode, or if you just know who the All-Pros were, you know who the Pro Bowlers were. So moving on from that, I do have a play index query we can talk about for a bit before we get out of here. That work for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I ran a search. I wanted to find just loosely who some of the most fun baseball players were. So I did 1,500 hits, 300 home runs, and 300 stolen bases. And at first I did 2,000 hits, but I want to see how much it would have increased if I did 1,500 hits. It actually didn't increase that much, so I can give you the results with and without. I'll start with the 2,000 hits, actually, just to make it more interesting.
Sure.
You ready for this list of names?
Yes.
All right. The players with 2,000 hits, 300 home runs, and 300 stolen bases: Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Willie Mays, Andrew Dawson, Carlos Beltran, and Steve Finley.
Who the fuck is Steve Dawson?
Oh, Andre Dawson.
Andre Dawson, and then the last guy was Steve. Those
Andre
guys I have never heard of.
Andre Dawson, he was an Expo for a very long time. Apparently, he also was very good in Chicago, and then he played in Boston, and then he was a Florida Marlin for 2 years. His playing career ran from 76 to 96. He's in the Hall of Fame. Won MVP, 8-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove, Rookie of the Year, 4-time Silver Slugger, 64.8 WAR. He was a good baseball player.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's well known that I am not the best with baseball players, but he sounds like a kind of guy I probably should know.
That was a name I knew. I couldn't have told. I couldn't have told you he played for the Cubs. I think I've known that he was an Expo just because that's usually like a closer knit group of players in terms of like when they're talked about,
Right.
because the Expo's existence was kind of awkward. The other player though, Steve Finley. I want you to go to Steve Finley's Baseball Reference page just so you can see that he looks like drug-addled Robert De Niro.
Ooh, that is a sentence that I've never heard before, but I'm very excited to hear.
Steve,
drug-addled. Oh my God, that's a drug-addled Robert De Niro,
right?
That is Robert De Niro's little brother who later became a meth addict.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Right?
I've never been so excited to see someone's picture on Baseball Reference before.
So Steve Finley.
And he has a Twitter.
Oh, he does? Yes. Steve Finley played for 19 years, played for Baltimore for 2, Houston for 4, the Padres for 4, Arizona for like 5.5, the Dodgers for 1.5 years, the Giants for 1 year, and the Rockies for 1 year. 44.3 career WAR, 2-time Silver Slugger, 5-time Gold Glover, and won the World Series in 2001, and is not in the Hall of Fame. And I have never heard of him before.
No.
So he's a weird addition to this list because it's Barry Bonds, like Barry fucking Bonds. It's Alex Rodriguez, who
be in the Hall of Fame.
All right, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
All right. What was the last thing you heard me say?
Alex Rodriguez.
Okay, all right. Alex Rodriguez, who might be a Hall of Famer depending on how you view the steroid stuff. Willie Mays, Inner Circle Hall of Famer. Andre Dawson, Hall of Famer. Carlos Beltran, if you take away the last 3 years, would have been a Hall of Famer. And then Steve Finley.
Can we, after this episode finishes up, can one of us go on the Juicing the Numbers Twitter with a picture of his Baseball Reference photo and tweet at him with the fact that we think he is a drug addict, Robert De Niro, and see if he responds to us?
I mean,
he only has like 1,800 followers, so I don't feel like we're. Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, it's Steve Finley. Come on. I think he'd actually respond to us if he uses Twitter.
I hope so, because I want him to know that we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Steve,
what's up? Come on the podcast, Steve.
Oh. Come on. Oh, dude. I would lose it.
All right. I have a lot of hopes right now, and I have a feeling they're going to be crushed.
Real quick. So, what do you think of this list as like synopsis of fun baseball players?
I mean, for all I know, they are extremely fun. Everyone outside of our buddy Steve, close friend Steve, is extremely fun. So, yeah, I think with Steve on there, it only makes it more fun.
What else do you classify as being fun for like a baseball player? Because I figured hits, not necessarily home runs, because but I did leave a threshold, but like 1,500 hits, like getting a hit is exciting, even if it's just a little bit exciting. It's still exciting. Stolen bases is exciting. Like, walks I didn't put because walks are super useful, but I'm not sure a walk is exciting.
Maybe like total bases.
Oh, okay, that's a good
Because,
one.
a single's fun. Ichiro Suzuki was fun, but
Super fun.
doubles and triples are more fun.
No, that's actually a really good point because I was debating putting in triples for basically that reason, but not that thought process. Because like triples are a fun thing, but like you don't get a lot of them. But your idea of total bases kind of just incorporates hits, home runs, and stolen bases all into one. I like that idea.
What about errors created? Because an error, for the opposing team, that's pretty fun to watch because it's exciting. It's, not good baseball, obviously, but it adds excitement to the game. So it's going to be, it's not us trying to find who are the best fun players, but who added the most excitement to a game. And guys who fuck up a lot are kind of fun to watch.
You're right. I want to see if that's an option. Please, please, please be an option. Please show me errors. Oh, come on. I want errors.
Show me the money.
Oh, I don't see error. I guess fielding stats isn't the thing for this search.
Fuck.
I have defensive WAR.
Sure.
Hold on, let me just make sure.
How are they by like negative defensive WAR?
How is there DWAR and not errors? It just feels wrong. All right, whatever. So I'll do DWAR. So I have total bases at greater than or equal to 3,000, and total DWAR less than or equal to -25. I don't know how this is going to look, or if I have to reset these numbers, but let's just see. Let's just see what this comes up with, if anything. Because this is going to be two players.
Ooh.
Two players who are also, might I add, currently on the Hall of Fame ballot. Gary Sheffield and Adam Dunn.
Ooh.
Gary Sheffield.
That's pretty cool.
Had 4,737 total bases and -27.7 DWAR.
Oh my God.
And Adam Dunn had 3,371 total bases and -28.9 DWAR.
Oh, they're so bad at defense.
Wow. By the way, Gary Sheffield this year got 30.5% of the votes needed for the Hall of Fame. Adam Dunn fell off the ballot with one single vote for 0.3%.
Who the fuck gave Adam Dunn a singular vote?
Probably the guy that didn't vote for Jeter.
Oh man, now I want to. Can you do a search of who has the I guess the lowest DWAR, the most negative DWAR in their career?
Yeah, let me just take out the total bases one, I guess. Fucking leaving that at 0, and I'm gonna sort it by defensive WAR, ascending order. All right, let's see what we got. All right, let's see. Most least DWAR, most negative DWAR. Oh, my search didn't run. Oh, he's left total bases in there. My bad, people. My bad.
You had one job, Josh.
Unless these are the only two people with more than -25 DWAR. Is that possible?
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some other guys in there somewhere.
Is that all right? Hold on. I'm just going to take out the DWAR thing entirely, and I'm just going to sort every baseball player by negative defensive WAR and see how that goes.
Computer is going to kill you.
No, that can't be. They can't be the only two. They can't be. That's just no. Because there's got to be more glove first basemen than glove first hitters, right?
Yeah.
All right. So my problem is that now when I ran that, it just returned a bunch of people who had never accumulated any DWAR, and that's not helpful. So I got to put the DWAR back in. Oh my goodness, Corwin, what's happening? All right.
What is going on?
All right. I need to solve. I know this is a huge deviation, and I'm sorry that you're all listening to this, but but we need answers. All right. Negative 10. I'm going to put a negative 10, and we're going to run it again because I need to know. Like, Jeter had a bad DWAR, I'm pretty sure. Like, that was a whole big talking point, is he was bad at defense. No, it's Adam Dunn and Gary Sheffield. Those are the two worst. Adam Dunn is the worst defender of all time.
Wow.
Adam, yeah,
That's,
so Adam, they are literally the only two batters that have more than negative 25 DWAR.
That is bad.
It goes Adam Dunn with the 28.9 that I already said, Gary Sheffield the negative 27.7, then Frank Howard with negative 24, Dave Winfield a negative 22.7, and Frank Thomas with negative 22.5, tied with Don Baylor for negative 22.5. Yeah, like that's it. That was the list.
Well, I can't say they're going to get my Hall of Fame vote.
That's just impressive.
Yeah, that impressive. Sure, yeah, that's a word for it.
Just to wrap things up, when I lowered the threshold to 1,500 hits, just to loop this all back around, we got two more players. You're gonna know at least one of the names. Maybe both. So
Okay.
if we lower the threshold, so 1,500 hits, 300 home runs, 300 stolen bases, the two new names are Reggie Sanders and Bobby Bonds.
Oh, I know Bobby.
So of all the players with 1,500 hits, 300 home runs, and 300 stolen bases, 25% of them are Bonds.
That's good. That's what you want.
Yeah. Corwin, what team did Reggie Sanders play for?
Oh, the Oakland A's.
You know what is funny is that's a great guess because everyone played for the A's and it's not right.
Damn it.
He played for the Reds, the Padres, the Braves, the Diamondbacks, the Giants, the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Royals, but not the A's. There are so many teams that it could have been right. Reggie Sanders, who won the World Series in 2001, was a one-time All-Star and otherwise was uninteresting. And Bobby Bonds, who was a very good player for the San Francisco Giants, and then also played for the Yankees, the Angels, the Rangers, the Indians, the Cardinals, and the Cubs. And probably would have been a borderline Hall of Famer, 57.9 WAR, an MVP, three-time All-Star, three-time Gold Glove, but ultimately is not in and probably will remain that way, and was the inspiration for Barry Bonds to become a Giant. And as we all know, Barry Bonds, very, very good at baseball.
Yeah, above average.
Only a casual 105 more WAR than his dad.
Yeah, that's nothing. I bet I could have more WAR than my dad if I played professional baseball.
Do you think that having like negative 1.0 WAR is more than your dad, or is it less WAR? Because your dad's WAR is technically like
Zero.
non-existent.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Is it zero or is it not on the chart? Because like if it's not even on the scale, is being negative on the scale a better representation of talent than not being on the scale? You know what I'm saying?
That is a actually very good philosophical question. I feel like it's a Schrodinger's cat kind of thing where as long as you have accumulated WAR, positive or negative, it's better than what he has because you don't know how good or how bad he could be.
Oh, okay.
Because he hasn't played.
Yeah.
So if I had negative 50 WAR, I'd still be better than my father.
I think you would. I stand by this. If you ever throw out the first pitch to a baseball game, you have more WAR than Dad.
Oh, I have some calls to make because I have not rubbed something in his face in a long time, and I need something.
I hope you get it, my friend. I hope you get it. Shall we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
All right. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to find us or send us an email, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. And until Thursday, y'all have a good one. Would be.